Hello friends, my name is Old Man Cloud. I upload daily Bazaar gameplay videos to my YouTube channel. You know the drill. And I'm not talking about the dually item. Oh dear. To the very few people who are self-watching after that. Playing Vanessa at the moment because I am trying for some faster runs. Trying to get through the last few ranks to Legend. It's feeling like a bit of a grind at the moment, but we'll get there, and Vanessa is definitely the way of doing it. And I think of these, double burn lighter is really cool. they were all pretty strong, but a double burn lighter, I feel like that has the potential to be quite strong. Nothing here, expensive reroll. Sure, a bit more burn, and a bit more ammo for the burn. Not a good start. Wonder if we should have gone different options at the start there, especially with not seeing Lighter Boy as one of our enemies. I can never remember the name. The plan with the lighter was to try to get a couple of cheap early wins when the lighter's super strong before pivoting into something else. I think that's still on the cards, but certainly would help to get a little bit of a buff on the lighter from cinders or the like. And we obviously need more support. We have a toy, so we could go and get our XP now, but I think we'd better take a look at mediums.
I'll help you find who does.
Think double barrel for the burst and play you like this. Maybe even put the crit on there. Just trying for some cheap early wins with burning them down, literally burning them down. 3 ammo on a double barrel early is pretty nasty. Just gonna take the gold here. So you love to see Mac.
My fight isn't.
So we have 120 damage coming from the double barrel. Then we need lighter to make up the difference. At least they have no defense, although they're piling some nasty burn as well. They do have the regen though, which really hurts. They actually do have a bit more defense than I was giving them credit for. You hate to see the regen without burn. I think the regen is going to be too strong for us. Yeah, too strong for us, the regen. Unlucky. I would like to die, please. that might demonetize the video. Not that it's monetized anyway when I'm getting like 2 views, but that would have demonetized the video, I think. In the game. Not in Minecraft, in the game. Alright, let's get back on track. Maybe we should have gone one of the other enchanted items, but I kind of wanted something a bit different. We'll take the XP now.
Full sail, my boy.
Would love a burn skill. Even more than right-handed, I think we love the burn skill. Rightmost burn item, which will make our lighter. Does 8 now, that's a lot better.
Come on in, let's chat.
Gotta put you in the bag, brother.
I get it, you're busy. Enjoy your purchase.
Now let's have a look. If there's something we desperately want, we can sell. But I don't think anything there qualifies as desperate. I like having the crow's nest in the bag just for potential pivot. You're tempting, Covetous Thief is tempting with the lighter, but if we take on the Rogue Scrapper, we get to level 3 today, which is what we should be aiming for, and I think we should be fine here. I'm thinking about a potential flagship build. We have an ammo item, we have a tool, we have the property in the bag. I feel like we could potentially make a flagship build work with this. This is more like the burn we were looking for.
Was that even a battle? Maybe a skirmish.
Not the item we were looking for, but we are mostly here for the XP anyway. Not to the stage of desperation of looking to transform quite yet. Pick up the silencer in case we do go for flagship.
Good of all.
Do we pick up Orange Julian in case we go for the flagship? Sure. So we really are kind of leaning towards a flagship build with the items that we've got in the bag. Of course, we need the flagship. That would certainly help. Let's just take the regen. We've seen how effective that can be.
Ride that tide.
And then let's have a look at bronzes. Seaweed, not really what we're looking for, but maybe it's a tiny little bit of survivability. You can play you like this so you indirectly buff the double barrel, but it's pretty minimal. Orange Julian is not doing enough to justify the spot, neither is Barbed Wire. I think this is probably the best board that we have. The chain reaction double barrel. The board is not particularly great, but at least we're up against a Mac, which is nice. Looks like we should be fine, and we are. So good to get that early win. We really are relying on some early wins here. And keep an eye out for flagship. Can get flagship from you, but I think I'd rather take on a fight while I feel we can beat most opponents. And would love to see Cinders or... Flame Dancer is still bad. Even with the buff, it's still bad. Let's hope for Cinders. Failing that, I guess we could make the Cutlass work potentially. We really are a burn merchant though. Cutlass, we'll definitely be hanging on to you. Not too fussed about anything here, but let's take a look. You help us with our burn mission. Think you're probably better for us than
It's not right for you. Bring it back.
you. I don't think we make Cutlass work after all. Well, I mean, we're doing so little with this. I still think it's better. Yeah, so I think Cutlass is gone, and we'll bring you onto the board once we get to level 4. This should be strong enough to take on the Eccentric Aetheryte.
I've got a lot of work to do, but this.
Even though your shield's a bit annoying, I think we should still be fine. We have the world's tiniest bit of survivability coming from the seaweed, but the main thing is we're getting rid of your shield. And piling on the burn pretty nicely. Would love to see Rigged, of course, one of the strongest skills in the game.
Knew that would happen. Didn't care.
Such a great voice line. I love the voice acting in this game. They've really gone above and beyond. Not a good item, but we can get you on the board now. Upgraded bronze tier. I mean, if we're really all in on... I think we are kind of all in on flagship here, in which case we might want to upgrade the Crow's Nest. Or do we kind of do a halfway solution where we upgrade Silencer, which we are currently using, albeit not to its maximum capacity, but at least we get some benefit there, and it will also be on the board in our flagship build. I think that's the way to go. And Cure can have your burn buffers,
Now that's a bargain.
including you. Why is this not a property? Sure, we'll buff you, and we'll definitely be buffing you. And let's roll, because there's a temptation to see the salamander pet we would have liked to see. I think that's what it's called. No such luck. We might want to take the icicle in case we pivot into weather glass, but I think that's relatively unlikely. Free upgrade or small items. I think we got to take the free upgrade, and we have to put it on Crow's Nest, I think. Just holding out for that flagship.
The quicker the fight.
What is it? Holding out for a flagship at the end of the night? It's got to be strong and it's got to be right. And it's got to be fit for this fight.
Go ahead.
That's my understanding.
It makes this more fun. You should know, I'm a bit of a legend on
Oh, it's always scary when you see a non-full board. There is self-buffing Shark Claw relying on crit from a gold artillery spotter skill. We should be able to beat this surely, although you do have Life Preserve, which is mighty scary, and we don't have much in the way of survivability. Do we get through your second life? Just.
Defeat me.
That's good. The burn plan is coming together. Now we have to pull off the pre-planned pivot into flagship. We've got it all lined up, ready to go. We just need the ship itself. Let's take some money. That's a good get. Although, ironically, you want it for the dock events that we just missed. Flagship isn't haste, slow, or cooldown, so I think I'm going to take a fight. That's a good one. We really want to see the large item vendor, who has a very good chance of giving us the flagship. As this build we've got here is going to be falling off very, very quickly. It really only has support from this one skill, and then we're devoting 5 item slots to this double barrel. What am I thinking here? Shiny Fang might be a welcome substitute for the double barrel here. Get it off the board. No such luck.
Rally men, blades to the wind.
Do we take a flame skill? Well, don't have the option anyway. None of these are good with either flagship or our current build. And either build is going to be burning, I think, so we'll take Frostfire.
I hope we can do this again.
None of these have flagship. So I'll take Hellbilly. I was really hoping to see. I'm pretty sure on day 4 you can get the flagship chap. But that's fine. I believe it'll come our way eventually. And I believe this should be fine as well. The burn really does add up with this fiery lighter.
Ah, you goal-praying ski-waller!
Goated voice acting. Alright. Want to see large items, please. None of these are large items. But we'll go to Curo for the burn buffing, I suppose.
Recycle.
No such luck. I will roll. Nope. Just that.
Forms by a rusty
And I suppose sharpness, so. Silencer doesn't matter. Okay, complete miss. Looks like we're rocking this board another day. None of these can give us what we want. Silencer is a great get, so we really are looking for the one weapon pivot now. We're all built up for it. We're all built up for it, we just need the weapon. None of these. Alright, we're rocking this build again. The world's weirdest double barrel combination here. Up against a level 5 Diamond Vanessa. Potentially dealing with similar struggles as me, trying to get over the line to Legend. It's Angry Vanessa. Extremely, extremely, extremely angry Vanessa. Yeah, with no survivability, I got a bad feeling about this. I think they're going to get us down before our burn can really dig in. Mostly through their silver grenade. That's just too strong. Not even close. Just completely outmatched there. So we got to make the pivot today. Today's the day to make the pivot. Ideally to flagship, failing that to another single weapon, I think. Not looking for non-weapon items. Very much looking for weapon items. Although it's just too good to pass up the star chart.
Let's take the tyrant's whole kingdom.
Let's go with silver tier aquatic. Flagship is aquatic one time? No. And then sure, this is a decent time to cash out here. I think if we're playing this again tomorrow, we're losing anyway, so there's no point holding on to all this garbage. Although we need to have enough to beat that AI fight. What can we get rid of? I mean, it's all for the sake of marginal extra money. Nothing here we really want to do. Ish. I think we just hold on to make sure you can beat the AI.
That's the whole point of everything.
Got to be Infernal Envoy, who I'm pretty sure we can beat. And then maybe if you give us a great fire item like Restorative Fire Claws that I rewrote its enchantment on a previous video, overrode its enchantment by accident. But if you give us something, maybe we can think to build a pure fire build. But really we are set up to go into single weapon. Although single weapon has been falling out of favour a little bit at the moment. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe just the meta's too fast for the lifesteal? I'm not entirely sure. To me it feels like it should still be good. But it feels like you're seeing less and less of it. That will definitely be playing. I think it's time to get rid of this cursed combination. That's just doing absolutely nothing for us. I want to bring in you. I guess Julian for... No, we have no weapons. Why would we play Julian? I guess like this. Also no need for Silencer. What have I done? We need a weapon. Please give me a weapon.
Do you have any huge items?
You're a decent friend, but... No, that won't work. It's like the pivot is not happening today. Can play katana or rifle as your single weapon, but only if you have scaling. And the scaling, I guess, is Julian. Maybe we'd make the pivot now. Pivot to katana. I think it's the play. I don't think we're getting anywhere very far with this build. Whereas we add
There's
katana
fun size, and then there's boring size.
and play it something like this. It seems crazy to not use the lighter though. But I think we have to. Or maybe this is better. For the sake of 10% cooldown, it's probably better to have the lighter. So play it like this. Yeah, it's not the single weapon we wanted, but I think it's better than our previous build. Now we see the weapons merchant and the dig site. Weapons merchant definitely has the better chance of giving us the flagship. Although we got rid of our loot, our ammo item, which was a mistake. I think we go Pearl's dig site and see if we can find something here. That's a cool item. Almost worth playing that just in the AI fights. Double katana can work really well, but we're set on Crow's Nest here. That has to be worth it. I feel like Sexton is a good item. So we get our crit chance up even further, and then katana is constantly hasting itself. And I think that's enough to not play lighter now. Yeah, I think this is right. As annoying as it is to get rid of lighter. We made the pivot. We did what we had to do.
No, I'm a bit of a legend.
Would have preferred flagship, but instead we have monkey plus katana, which is a little slow. It's slow scaling, but katana will be giving off a lot of haste to both itself and hopefully monkey. Should be critting more than half the time. Definitely didn't look to be the case. But anyway, we just survive until monkey goes off, hopefully. And then monkey goes off and we start hitting so much harder. Slow is absolutely brutal. But we only need a couple more crits. I feel like you are not pulling your weight with your crits, brother. 55%. There we go. So I would call that a successful pivot. And like I said, one weapon not in the meta as much, but certainly can still work. And we have monkey, which is cool, a cool mid-game item. We got to upgrade the Crow's Nest for increased crit chance, which is what we're relying on for our haste, up to 75% now. So we're really looking for skills and buffs for our katana. I would like you to go away, thank you. Tempting to go gumballs already. Let's have a look at the weapon shop. Oh my goodness. It happens every time. Just when I think I'm settled. I mean, you're just better, right? You have to just be better. We play you with... Still has to be monkey. We can't play sextant. We play you... Or do we hold you in the bag for the time being?
I fight alongside you.
4 multicast is pretty good. This is pretty good. With 60% crit chance. It's a shame we're not getting the haste. But I feel like this has to be better than what we're doing. Even though the haste was really nice with the previous build. I feel like this is better. Flagship, just a really good item. We also get the disruption coming from the lighter this way. So the plan is similar. Survive until monkey goes off. And then suddenly flagship hits incredibly hard. The lack of haste is killing us a little bit, to be honest, though. I wonder if it's better off playing katana till we find a better way to haste. Interesting situation here. I don't know which build is better.
I will not train you to kill.
I will train you.
So this would give flagship plus 25 damage. It wouldn't give katana the damage. I think that's worth it, and I think that locks us into flagship, which I think is probably a little bit better anyway. So I think because of that, we're now gone and gone and gone. We're set on Julian, I think, being our win condition. So we'd like to get his cooldown down significantly. He's not really... He doesn't work too well as a late game item just because of how slow he is. But this is a really strong mid-game build. May not get us all the way to 10. But this is a nice mid-game build for sure. It suffers because they changed the way the Radiant enchant works. Making it less strong on the flagship. Radiant can now no longer be targeted by a slower or a freezer. So the slower freeze for me will just always go on monkey or lighter, whereas previously it could effectively fizzle when it targeted flagship. Let's have a look for monkey. So of course it's katana every time after you sell an item. You're not the monkey you're not the animal that we're looking for. Are you better than monkey? No, I don't think so. Robot's interesting, but also no.
See that mountain? That's
We could get rid of Silencer to give it 5 multicast with an ammo item.
Go ahead.
Dive weights would make that... In fact, dive weights could go in place of lighter. Maybe that's the way to get it to 5. As much as I like my lighter for the time being. Put dive weights in place of lighter. But for the time being, what we've got here is fine, even though it's only got 4 multicast. We should be winning this. Once monkey goes, doesn't even need to go really. So much damage on flagship. Such a strong mid-game item. Underrated, I would say, in the current meta. Has been so strong for so long, and is still really, really strong. We'd love to get a good enchant on it, of course. Let's have a look for monkey.
Take your time.
Never monkey. Never monkey.
You might try JJ's shop. Real friendly.
It's up to 123. Got to take a fight while we can. Or not. So you would count as an ammo item, but I still prefer Silencer for the time being. And let's go up against Shock Trooper. I'm pretty sure that should be fine, even though you're a little scary. Or a lot scary, I should say, with Plasma Rifle. I think we should get in the second volley of flagship, especially with the freeze. Is really, really nice. And hopefully we take you out with slows a bit rough. Don't crit. Geez, that's a scary item. And we may have lost there to a crit, which would have been pretty devastating. Bit rough that we haven't seen a way to upgrade monkey. I think B1 and B2 can still show up.
This is how you win a war.
So we'd definitely like to see that. That's a good get. Good loot. Definitely like to see B1, B2.
Discounts for peace.
Monkey? Monkey? Never monkey. I'll take the small buff to lighter though. Actually, not that small with the fire enchant. That's some serious burn. We have star chart. Yeah, it's just too good to pass up. And the only weapon is, of course, flagship that we'd be buying. Monkey at bronze is a bit rough, but I think most fights should be lasting that long at this point, even against the angriest of Vanessas. What about the angriest of pigs? Square pig. It's not that. It's a money tree burn pig. Freeze pig. I think this should be fine. You pile on the burn pretty nastily, but we're going to be significantly... The slow on Julian hurts, but we're still going to be fine. They're just too slow. And once we get off one hit, I think... Come on? Yeah. Oh, that freeze had me scared for a second. But yeah, once we get off that one hit after Julian procs, we're in business. The monkey on the ship. You love to see it. Fins is always tempting, but let's go JJ.
Person. And sometimes I sell stuff.
We're just playing match the items basically here. Take the upgrade just on the off chance you end up on the board. And here's our enchant. Fantastic. That is what we wanted to see. Tempting to put on Julian, which I assume doubles his damage buff, but it's effectively the same, just because it would be cool. But it's effectively the same, putting on the flagship and better, so there's no reason not to. Got to take a look at skills. Another 25 damage, which is actually a huge amount more than that. Sure, it's got to be that. Well, we were. That's a powerful ship. And now we got to go for cooldown, I think. I take the chance at cooldown over extra XP, I think, at this point, because cooldown is just so strong for us. And this burn is something as well. It's a fair chunk of burn, and it gets disruption. Suddenly we've gone from a pure mid-game type of build that looked like it will peter out to potentially a potential late gamer. That's a good get as well. That's a really nice get. I wasn't even thinking of that. That gives us some haste from Obsidian Flagship critting. Really great to see. Not too interested in haste, slow, or cooldown, so I think we'll go gumballs now. Our board is so set. Love to see the red gumballs. Still looking for B1, B2. Pretty sure they can still show today. No Julian upgrade yet. Do we even need Julian at this point? Probably not at the time being, not for the time being, but he gives us some more late game options. Sniper rifle pivot, oh, that's a juicy grenade. Sniper rifle pivot in this type of build is always tempting. I imagine Orange Julian can match up very, very well with Sniper, but having put the enchant on Flagship, we're set now. We really are a Flagship merchant. Want to get our crit up, especially with Cosmic Wind. The potential for hasting 5 items when we, or 4 items, sorry, every time Flagship goes off is very, very tempting. And we just try to race our way, basically. We just try to bully our way to 10 here. Julian not even needing to go off. At the moment he's counting as the friend for the multicast, basically. So if we get an extra small friend that we can put down along with Pop Snappers to give it 5 multicast, I think that's the play for the time being. So let's keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, there's definitely great skills here like Big Guns. Guarantees that Flagship gets hasted as soon as Lighter goes off is pretty strong, but reducing its cooldown by 20% is insane.
That's all I've got.
That's busted. 4.2 seconds. Incredible skill get.
Peaceful.
Punish the...
You're an interesting chap, but I don't think so. The extra, yeah, you don't work because you're not actually a property, which I'm kind of surprised at. Shipwreck? Yeah, guess you can't really live in a shipwreck. But dive weights is what we want. I was thinking, and fish as well. Thinking possibly playing Shipwreck over Crow's Nest, but it doesn't work out with the multicast. So now we don't really need Julian, unfortunately, because the build was a lot cooler with him, that's for sure. So I think you want something like this. You're next to 2 aquatic, you're getting your cooldown reduced. It all seems to be in order to me. The extra active items is a bit of a bummer because it reduces the chance of haste going onto the Flagship, but it's worth it for the extra multicast. And we just don't need the the damage from Julian. We'll keep him in the stash because he maybe gives us some more late game potential, but yeah, for the time being, this is just way too strong. Now, what we would love is something like Flurry of Blows, a charge skill to really take it to the next level. But to be honest, if we're able to win the next 4 days, we may not even need charge skill to get there. Much beyond that, you probably do need a charge skill, but I mean, that's fun, but it doesn't work.
Hello.
Lots of good aquatics for us, of course. I mean, it's much of a muchness, don't really care which friend we have there. Me when I'm selfishly planning a wedding. But I will just upgrade it because why not? It gets hasted occasionally with dive weights. Considering Water Wheel over Crow's Nest, but no, the crit chance is just too much. The life steal I don't care about too much, but the crit chance is just too much. We need that crit chance, especially with Cosmic Wind. Sell there, and we don't need Pop Snappers anymore because we got our ammo and tool with dive weights. Dive weight's such a big buff to, indirect buff to Flagship. Functioning as both ammo and tool, even though we're just using it for ammo. I feel like we should be fine here. We potentially have a rough time against Elemental Depth Charge Vanessa, but here we should get home with our second volley. Yeah, just Cool. The next upgrade's going to be tempting. I think it probably is Crow's Nest for the crit chance. Could definitely make a case for Silencer for the CDR. But the strategy is just to rush our way to 10 here, basically. Got to have a look at large.
It's just straightforward.
There's 2 great ones for us here. We don't get either of them. That's unlucky. Not too many large items that can pop up there.
I'm finished with fighting.
Feels like so many Vanessa runs end up with this, with just endlessly re-rolling shops and not improving your board in any way. I guess because Vanessa's inventory has a way of getting set earlier rather than later. You have a great skill for us, but I think we go Void Colossus and hope you don't hit the 1 in 6. And to be honest, even if you hit the 1 in 6 with us having gone off once already, Lighter may be able to finish the job. Yeah, I think Lighter plus the poison. Catfish is actually getting in there at gold. But yeah, we were never in any doubt there.
It's over already. We barely got.
I have the Colossus. I've never done a build around this, but I don't think today's the day. Sorry, I'll take the gold. Today is the day that we are rushing our way to 10 wins. I want to get to legend, and to do that, sometimes you have to play a bit more of a mundane build. I'm not going to call this a meta build because I don't think this is a super meta build at the moment, but Flagship is obviously a well-established build, if you want to call it that. Swashbuckle can be phenomenal. You give so much extra damage. We'd play you over Silencer and Lighter, in which case you wouldn't actually get rid of any multicast. We'd still be at max multicast. But we'd miss the CDR from Silencer, which I think is more valuable. I think that's more valuable than Swashbuckle. And Light is kind of getting in there as well. Yeah, I'm going to pass up Swashbuckle, which feels crazy. That does feel crazy. But anyway, it's done.
If you find it in the
Definitely
sea,
some aquatics we
that
want.
means treasure.
Dam can definitely work. But it would have to be in place of Crow's Nest. Dam can definitely work with this build. So you go off. We get rid of... It's very tempting. You charge super fast with the dive weights plus the Obsidian Flagship. This would lose its lifesteal and crit chance, but we'd pretty much automatically win. I just don't think so. It's so tempting, but I just don't think so. I think we're onto a winner here,
Sure you'd like these.
especially with Barnacle Crusted. That's a cursed name for a skill, but effectively, essentially, especially with this skill, I think we owe it to ourselves to just try to push on to a fast 10 wins. This is a scary pig. This is a terrifying pig. And they hit the 1 out of 6 or 1 out of 5 with 1 out of 4 with the freeze, which I think means we lose even if we, yeah, your burn is too good, brother. We lose that even with the, that's insane burn. We lose that even with the dam, in my defense. But that is a real shame. We just got purely countered there. I feel we got pretty unlucky. Hopefully that was us using up our bad luck, and we can now steamroll our way through based on easier wins. That's how luck works, right?
Now this
That's
is
my
how you
understanding.
win a war.
Big guns is what we want to see here. Big guns. Never lucky, but there's some great stuff here. We certainly crit a lot. Problem is the charge gets spread out amongst 4 active items. I think it has to be reel them in. Although you guarantee you getting hasted all the time, but I think it's reel them in. Because hopefully the first volley sets them to half health or below, and then your cooldown suddenly gets reduced massively and we fire off the second volley very quickly. Could make a case for any of them there. If I could guarantee that the charge goes on the flagship, I absolutely would take the charge. Charge is what we're looking for. But when the charge is being spread out amongst 4 items, it's not as valuable. Now we go Trash Titan because we want Juggler. Juggler would be an incredible skill for us. Juggler would pretty much guarantee the 10 piece, I think. So yeah, you can see there the second volley goes off so quickly. Because very often you'll be hasting yourself and reducing your cooldown by half. So your second volley should only take a second. So that felt like a significant improvement. As cool as you are, you're just not making on the board, I'm afraid, Julian. You're way too slow at this stage of the game. Has to be gumballs, I'm afraid. I think they could reduce Julian's cooldown potentially, if they want it to be a late game scaler. Maybe they're happy with it being kind of a mid-game item, but feels a little undercooked. Could definitely take some tools, like that one.
A bucket saved my life once. You just never know.
Such a cool item, but just doesn't work with what we're doing.
Rally, men! Blades to the wind!
We'd like to get flagship upgraded for the damage buff, but for the time being it should be sufficient. So long as we're getting you beneath, but so long as we're getting them to below half health with the first volley, the damage is doing the job. I think winning with the first volley is overly ambitious, but getting you to half health with the first volley is what we should be aiming for. I don't see any freeze from their side, so I think other than Yeti Crab, but that's relatively marginal. We don't get you to below half health. God, that's a lot of heal they got. That's crazy amounts of heal. But we get there. Oh, this was restorative volcanic vents, no wonder. So that was the life still keeping us in that, but a timely reminder that we do need a bit more damage. Come back, monkey. I missed the monkey. Health and shield, not what we're looking for. Just gonna take the regen. Poison, not what we're looking for. Weapon, unlikely to be what we're looking for. More XP, I guess. Keep pushing the XP. And let's go against Voidy. Again, only 1 out of 6, I think, to lose this. Which I'll accept those odds. Actually, even better, because you don't get to go off at all. Be funny if it gave us the Eye again. Just really trying to pivot us into an Eye of the Colossus build.
As spineless as a jellyfish.
Let's take the tyrant's whole
I think it has to be Silencer rather than Flagship. The damage buff is still really great, and it's mostly for the CDR. Haste slow cooldown, not what we want. Nothing here is really what we want. I guess you have a chance of being dive weights. The board is super set though. Certainly nothing there is going to make us rethink it. So that was a nice buff to damage, but would still love the upgrade to Flagship. I think I'd rather take just flat CDR to Flagship. It's all we really care about. Okay, I feel like we have to be in a good position against Vanessa. There's certainly elemental depth charge builds that can blow us out. Other than that, we should be beating a build like this. Icy Shark Claw, you hate to see that. And you hate to see that skill, but I think we're going to be fine here. Don't quite get them beneath half health, but we haste ourselves, and then the ship just goes so quickly. It's a nasty lad. Now I have to get an interesting item here to add it to the board so I can put it in the thumbnail for the YouTube video. Rather than just Flagship again. It may just end up being Flagship, to be honest, but hopefully people can still enjoy it and still gain something from the run, even if it's a run that's similar to what I've done before. And the Flagship was one of my first uploads quite a while ago. You're so cool, but just not what we're doing.
Oh, okay.
And I'm also celebrating before we get there. Absolutely no guarantee that this goes all the way to 10.
The Bazaar's a crazy place.
This is not a super busted late game pig item where the game is getting to the end game then winning. We still need to do some work. Certainly some great stuff here.
Good to
Oh, we have just over, but we can get rid of lighter. Or we just take the flat 15, but this is just so much damage. It's so much damage. We get rid of lighter, we don't miss out on any multicasts. The real thing we miss out on is Frostfire proccing, but I think it's worth it for the enormous damage buff.
but it must be very
Yeah, that's insane. That's an insane amount of damage on a Flagship. Still, it makes us a bit more susceptible to disruption, although we always were somewhat susceptible. It should guarantee that we win in 2 hits. There's even a decent chance we win in 1 hit. I think this has a higher chance of winning over playing the lighter. Even though there's some builds that the lighter build can beat that this build can't beat, if that makes sense. Overall, I give us stronger odds of getting to 10 like this. I'd say we're at 70% chance to win today and get over the line. This is just an obscene amount of damage. Let's have a look on the off chance of giving us another flagship. 1 time. No luck. Alright, so this is what we're cooking.
Ride that tide!
That's a great get. Further reducing your cooldown. Disgusting board. Disgusting board with that amount of damage on a flagship. So if it crits every time, that is roughly 5,000 damage flagship.
I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago.
And then it procs a ton of skills as well, and it goes off almost very, very quickly, and it then gets its cooldown halved. So yeah, I think you're too slow, brother. Yeah, just too slow, I'm afraid. And we get to the 10 piece. So maybe, you know, people who are new to the game, I feel like this is certainly a build that you can aim for. It's a really fun, really cool build. We got a little lucky with the enchant, but I think it could have worked in other ways as well. And it's quite nice that we planned out the pivot into flagship and it came together kind of just like we were planning early on. And it's always funny to win with a spare slot on your board. So thank you for watching. Really appreciate everyone who's supporting this tiny little channel of mine. It means a great deal to me. Hope you're enjoying the content. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.